with that being said, again, diving into my sacrilegious side, uh, if we miss the playoffs, does that mean that this season is a failure, Will?
Oh, is it a failure? No,
Mm-hmm.
because it goes back to what were your hopes and expectations at the beginning of the season, and what can you answer at the end of the season? Right now, it kind of a couple of weeks ago, we had the segment where we said, has Washington found its quarterback? And I think Eric Kelly, he was like, "Are you kidding me, guys?" But the purpose of that was to kind of say, if we walk away from 2024 football season saying we have a franchise quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
the season can't be considered a failure.
Absolutely.
You know, our team, our organization has positioned itself so much better than it's been for, golly, who knows, that, you know, we're not having to worry about quarterback. We can build on that moving forward. So it couldn't be considered a failure. Would it be a horrible taste to the point of like that same, remember when we played the Giants and went in and we had a clunker and we didn't make the playoffs, and you just went into that off season with this horrible feeling, and it was hard to kind of get revved up for the off season and get going? It would be something like that where you'd be crushed.
Yeah. And so, see, that's the thing. So, because for me, I look at it and I'm like, all right, we look good. We've looked good all year, and making it into the playoffs, yes, that would cement. Oh, look at us. But I've often talked about, even before this year, I don't want 1 year of success and then done. I don't want that RG3 2012 where we have that 1 year, we get to the playoffs, and then after that we're back down in the mud. You know what I mean? I want us to have continued success. So I think for me, if we don't make the playoffs, it's not a failure. It's not. I mean, if we if we get into the playoffs and win or lose, or if we don't make the playoffs, we're going to get around the same draft pick, around that same side. What would constitute a failure for me is if we aren't able during this offseason to re-sign some of these guys like a Bobby Wagner. If we're not able to build on this success, if we just kind of stay the same and just kind of go with this same team into next year, that's a failure to me. Because then you've had 2 full years of seeing the roster and seeing how it is. Now we need to be able to build on it. We making the playoffs will be great, but next year we've seen our strengths, we've seen our weaknesses. Now we need to move on. If we don't do anything else, and we're not looking to improve, that is more of a failure than not making the playoffs. Because when I look at this year and I go back to the 2020 year and I'm like, well, we made the playoffs then. It didn't look great. I mean, yeah, we had that stretch towards the end and Chase Young, rookie of the year, and yada, yada. But when we went up against a formidable team, against the Bucks, they whooped us. Like they didn't whoop us. It was 31-23. 31-23.
Well,
I know
who got born that day?
Look,
Born that day?
I know. Your guy came in there. Heineke? Yeah, get out of here. I think he even got some playing time for the Chargers recently. If Herbert goes down, maybe he'll be in tonight. Who knows?
Hey.
But yeah, no, it's not a failure if we don't make the playoffs. I think to your point about the December to remember, just being in this hunt and being favored. Teams not looking at us like, oh, this is a bye week, or oh, we can get these guys. These are, they're looking at us like, dag, that quarterback's pretty solid. Dag, Bobby Wagner, another 100 tackle season. Dag, now they got Lattimore and he's healthy. Oh my God. You know what I mean? There's things that when people talk about us, there is a little concern. And that's why I feel like it's a success regardless of what happens.
Yep. I'm with you. You would certainly feel a whole lot better, just like we did, like you mentioned, when we lost against the Bucks. Where even if you go into the game, like I sat down on the couch for that playoff game going, all right, let's just not get our butts whipped today. Yeah. You know, like I didn't think we were going to win. And then I got into the game because Heineke played his tail off. But you were so encouraged going into that offseason. You're just like, oh, look at that. We got the playoffs. Year one, Ron Rivera. Who's he going to bring? And then the rest happened.
Look at that. That's what I don't want. That optimism, going back all the way back to 2012, then going back to 2020. There's optimism. Like, look, we've built, and especially in 2020. And maybe we were caught. We were just blinded, blissfully ignorant on the fact that we really were a crappy team. I mean, we were like 1-8 up in, at the
It was another run. All the times we made the playoffs with Joe Gibbs and Mike Shanahan, it was a 7-game stretch of a run.
Yeah, but I want the consistency, and that's what I like about what we've done this year. We won the games we're supposed to win. Yes, we had that stretch, but we still keep continuing to win. And if we go into the playoffs and we do it, that's great. But I want to see us get stronger. I want to see us get stronger.